Nobody doesn't want to atone for the past or make the past right. They just want you to forget about the past because that's healing. And Liza said, that ain't me, baby. I got a lot to say. And since you don't want to address it, since it's bringing negativity to your life, well, guess what? Let's put it in a book. Y'all, let's see what Liza has to say. So this is via page 6. So you know it's legit because Lamar even gave a response. But let's see what Liza had to say. She said that her last time she saw Lamar at all or had any type of encounter was in the courtroom where he was ordered to pay $400,000, right? And back child support. Now, it's funny. I find it funny that everybody's just like, let that man live his life. All right, you can live your life and move on, but are you going to pay the back child support? I really want to know. But the judge said, guess what? Yeah, good luck. I'm glad you've been sober. And since you're sober, you can soberly open your checking account and pay what's due. If y'all didn't know, Liza was actually a star on Basketball Wives, right? Imagine that. But you know what they say about Basketball Wives? Ain't nobody married on there except for Shawnee O'Neal. No, actually, Shawnee was divorced too. Is there one wife of... Oh, wait. Jackie Christie, the craziest one out there, right? Is always... Listen. Anyway, let's move on. I'll drag Jackie later, right? Now, listen. She's saying the reason she got that $400K is because she said they had a 2015 settlement agreement that he literally just dished out. I guess he said, new me, new year, right? He probably tried to say he made that settlement offer while he was under the influence. I wouldn't put it past him. Jokes aside, so they made the settlement agreement in 2015. She said, you haven't honored the settlement agreement since 2020, right? Now, she said in her new book, she also wants to detail the trauma, if you will, that she experienced with Lamar, right? Saying that, and I quote, Lamar was a pivotal point in my life. I've not spoken to him in a year and a half, and that's why this book called Cutting Traumatized. Listen, capitalize on what you can. He wasn't paying support. You had to pay the bill some way, right? That's why my new book is called Cutting Traumatized, if you will. That title is for a reason. I did experience a lot of trauma dealing with them. My kids, my family has experienced a lot of trouble dealing with Lamar in such a public way. But we dealt with his addiction privately for years. You know, me being messy, I'm always rooting for people to win. But I heard you're struggling with what the addiction caused for years. Ping, ping, ping. Radar's up. Continue, Liza. Continue. You have my attention. He said, now listen, we all know that Lamar survived his near fatal overdose in 2015. And no jokes, actually. I'm happy Lamar has found his grounding and that he's doing so much better. That's what we pray for anyone suffering with addiction, that you find the courage to find yourself in that sea and through that strength, move on. However, you created a goddamn hurricane, tsunami, and tornado, and even though you moved out of the storm, you left everybody in there. You gotta go back for survivors. You gotta fix the things you messed up, especially when you have children. Anyway, Lamar told, to his point, if he survived the storm, Lamar told Good Morning America, I think it was last year, that he's feeling amazing. He's feeling sober. He's feeling happy. He's feeling himself. He's feeling himself. Ow. And that includes literally trying to say he just wants a hug. That includes him sending, hey, big head, what's up text to Khloe Kardashian and saying he just want a hug, you know, and to see that she's okay. I just said, I'm glad you're feeling yourself, but I want to talk about what went down in Vegas, right? And she said, when I say what really went down, right? Let's put those parentheses in. Is this No, let's put those quotation marks in, right? She said, I'm talking about if the hospital walls could talk. I'm talking NDAs. That probably got something to do with the Kardashians because you know Khloe Kardashian was hovering over him with Kris and all them like they were COVID and wouldn't even let them see him if the rumors can believe, right? She said, I'm talking NDAs, hallway fights, right? Hallway fistfights, business conflict of interest. I stayed really, really quiet. But again, I felt like it wasn't the right time. I'm listening, Liza. Continue. She also said she's touching on what happened with Khloe Kardashian. Now, Liza, girl, get your coin. And listen, if Lamar stepped away from his responsibilities in pursuit of his happiness, then yeah, call him out to the court. But y'all, I gotta be honest, Khloe Kardashian don't need no more bad press. But apparently Liza got something to say because who was she having those hallway fistfights with? And who were those NDAs for? You know what? This might be our next book club. Y'all, let me know if you want this to be our next book club. Well, actually, it's coming out in May. There's probably going to be a book before. but I'm interested. Continue, Liza. Liza goes on to say, I'll talk about the experience of trying to get him to go to rehab. Remember when Khloe and the Kardashians acted like they were Captain Save-A-Who, right? And they got Lamar into rehab. It's funny that Liza was also trying to help, but they skirted over that. She said, this stuff just didn't happen when he was with Khloe. It magnified when he married Khloe, but he's had that problem for years. You mean Khloe had him? Let me find out that Khloe actually amplified and had Lamar literally out there in Vegas brothel singing, I'm in love with the cocoa. Literally stirring that whip it good. Did say she's going to talk about it because it impacted me and impacted our kids, so I have no choice to talk about it. Let me tell y'all something. I'm glad Lamar, I can't say enough, I'm glad he's doing good. But when you do harm to people, they have the right to talk about it and tell their story. Just because you're being better doesn't mean that they can't express the pain, especially when you haven't made right for it. Lamar actually made a statement about it. His people contacted Page 6 and said, we would like to wish Miss Morales all the best in her future endeavors. It is our hope that she sought healing from many past pains that Mr. Odom may have inflicted upon her in his folly of youth, real or imagined, some 15 years ago. He has since went on to become married, divorced, engaged, and newly single in that time span. Listen, Lamar was on that cocoa. Listen, they trying to act like it was 15 years. You became married, engaged, you became married, divorced, engaged, newly single in the course of like 3 years. Shut up, Lamar. Like, shut up, right? They go on to say he was never married, but they were engaged in 2020, right? So Liza goes on to tell us, because she ain't over, right? Girl, this book is going to be juicy. Even the way she's giving these extra long statements, girl, sell that book because I'm going to be reading it, right? She said, I wanted to do a book for several years, and I felt like the timing was not quite right. Then 2020 comes, and the panini bread hits, and the whole world stops, and I just felt like, okay, I got time on my hands, and I started taking notes. That's right, girl, be messy as you want to be. She said that in her thing. I'm going to take you on journey of experience from childhood to high school, obviously, where I met Lamar. I was a teenage mom. I had my daughter Destiny at 19. I had to put college on the back burner. I was supposed to go to St. John's University. Ooh, she's from New York. And I had to sit out one semester, and then boom, I got pregnant with my daughter. Why she had to sit out one semester? Are you explaining in this book what's going on? I'm actually interested in this because, again, good for Liza, good for the children, but I am interested in knowing what happened in that pivotal time, because from what my sources are saying, it was a dark time, and Lamar was not the person that he claims to be now that he was back then. Lamar feels like, I'm sober, who cares about everybody else? I can just go about my business and hope you get therapy. I actually want to hear about one of the people, somebody's life that he actually did traumatize him, the effect it had on his wife and children. I just want to know. I mean, you out in the media, I really want to know. But Tattle Tells, let me know. Do you care? Do you want to know? If you're wondering if Lamar wants to his rep issued another statement, said, Mr. Odom is living his life sober and without apology. You know what? I have to say that, live your life for you, but when you hurt other people that you have societal and even moral obligations to, that shit don't fly. Nobody says you have to keep apologizing, but goddamn, you really have to make right with those people, especially your children and someone you left to be a single mom so you could go aflutter about brothels. Lamar goes on to say he wishes to build a relationship with his now adult children without the strain of having to engage with their mother. You mean the woman that had to sacrifice, that had the bootstrap, that was getting in fistfights in hallways and signing NDAs to try to keep your kid's life, your flesh and blood, on solid ground? Now, you don't have to do it without the strain. Let me tell you something. Lamar sounds selfish as hell. And we're going to see from this book, and I know he struggles with addiction, but he can struggle with addiction, be the kid that actually made a come up and beat his demons, and still be a selfish person. Mr. Enlightened Lamar still had time to throw shade. He said, Mr. Odom hopes that her book proves to be a cathartic for her, allowing her to move on. Life is too fleeting to be stuck in decades of the past. Ain't that the truth? And ain't that what everybody that literally rampages through people's lives like a bull in a china shop? Again, no one's holding you to your past. Nobody's saying you're the same person. But when you are just as selfish and really don't care about anybody but yourself, before it was the drugs and now it's your sobriety, y'all. Anyway, listen, let me know what you think in the comments. Am I being too harsh? Do you think I'm looking at this bad way? Do you think that she had the right to write that book? I want to hear your comments. Just remember, Tattle Tells, please be respectful, because you know my moderators stay with their fingers on the trigger. All right, you guys, talk to y'all later.